Okay, boys and girls, Tyler Mahoney here with my good friend Jeff Faulkenberry, doing a little fishing report for you. So I want to break it down a couple of ways. I want to talk about the daily fishing report today. You were out chasing catfish.
Yep, I chased catfish with a trip, and then I got a crappie trip tomorrow, so I went and done some scout recon this afternoon a little bit.
Yep. Chase some crappie around. Yep. So we're going to get into his daily notes, but then we're going to recap kind of the last week on Truman, maybe some LOZ, Lake of the Ozarks conditions, lake conditions. But let's start with today. So, Jeff, today you were out on Truman. You're chasing cats. You got into them. Plain and simple.
Yeah, we did. We beat on them pretty good. We were still chasing some catfish on some windy flats. Mm-hmm. Still water's up in the grass and weeds and fields and everything else.
Yeah.
And we actually caught the fish that we caught today were all full of soybeans.
Yeah.
So they're full of earthworms and everything else that's out there. But all the fish that we caught today, I say all, most of the fish we caught today were all in that 8 to 10 foot range, all the way up to 2 foot. And the catfish bite's gonna be pretty consistent for a while. Water temperature's still up in the high 50s, so until we get up to that 70 mark, we'll start dragging baits after that. But water's falling, so conditions are going to change almost daily, really. But for the most part, you get out there and a lot of these flooded willows, fish you had those flooded willows, you'll catch some cats.
So the lake is up right now at 716 something, so you can get into some of these flooded areas. I mean, now's the time. If you're going to do it, you're going to do your exploration, now is when you got to do it.
Throw that map card in your Lowrance and start driving around and try to find areas that don't have grass. What we find is, I'll drive around through a lot of grass and I'll find bald spots where it's laid down or maybe it was a depression where the water had been up prior to and it still held a little water in there. So I'll look for areas that don't have grass and set up on those.
Now, pattern, I know you kind of alternate arms. Grand Arm has been kind of where you...
That's the first day I've fished Truman Lake in a week and a half. So I've been on Lake of the Ozarks.
So you're not totally sure or haven't heard what the pattern... I'm sure it's a similar pattern all over the lake then?
Oh, yeah. I was over on the Tebow, I guess. I lied. I was on the Tebow Saturday. I didn't catfish.
Okay.
I caught some crappie over there. Looked the water over. Scanned a lot of fish. Had a buddy over there catfishing Warm Flats Lake.
Okay.
He was fishing main lake ledges.
Okay.
Setting up on deep ledges. Water's muddy over there, but it is with a dam running. There's current coming down some of them secondary points. He was fishing some deep ledges on the back end of secondary points, wearing them flat out.
Yeah. So
those fish were blowed up too. They're full of shads.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, absolutely. So kind of got the notes from the last couple of days. In the last week, we've seen temperatures go from upper 40s on the lower lake, low 50s from the upper parts of the lake too. You said you found upper 50s.
Yeah, 58 today on the upper end.
Lake conditions, the Grand Arm's still pretty chocolately.
Yeah, it's not as bad as others though. Tebow's the worst right now in my opinion. And the upper Osage. The upper Osage, Tally Bend area, there's a lot of snagging going on up there right now, but there is one heck of a catfish bite over there. The catfish bite over there is very, very good.
Crappie, it's kind of been the Grand Arm, has been what I've been hearing, is the crappie around Bucksaw up or down has been where...
I think that's just where most of the guys have been fishing, especially all of us Intel guys.
Right.
We've been... I know Steve's been down chasing some fish on the lower Tebow, and Steve Blake. And, he'd catch them, and that guy will catch them. And if they're biting down there, him and Bob both. Bob Bates, both those guys are great fishermen, and they'll catch them when they're biting down there. And it's going to turn on real quickly. Actually, I was down around the Long Shoal area. I texted you Friday, and the bite was on down there. Yeah. So it's getting there.
Yeah, you said you were getting up pretty shallow.
Yeah, I was catching some up close. I say close to the shore. 8 to 10 foot of water, but it was on some steeper bank. So I was only 20 feet from the bank, but we were still in 8 to 10 foot of water.
Now, are these sitting on structure? Are these a rocky bank? What's...
Nope, these fish are just 4 or 5 fish sitting here, and 4 or 5 fish sitting here, and 4 or 5 here.
Gotcha.
And we spider rigged, and then we also just active target, pitching baits too.
So they're 8 to 10 feet of water.
Yep, right on the bottom.
Right on the bottom.
Yep.
Okay. In the Grand, it seems like the report's changing pretty consistent. I mean, Dylan's been talking about finding them in 10 to 12 feet of water, or 10 to 12 feet down in 15 to 20.
Feet of,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So,
And you know, that's the thing, and that's the beauty of Truman Lake, man,
Yeah.
because and Dylan's whacking them right there. I mean, I know I've seen Dylan out, you know, plenty this week, and he's been catching lots of fish in that area.
Yeah.
And the, you know, I'm saying the 18, 20 feet of water, 10, 12 foot down, and then you got, you know, I caught my fish shallow.
Yeah.
Richard, you know, he's catching them deep one day, shallow another day. You know, you can. It's just you catch them about any way you want to catch them right now. It's just really, really, really good.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, my buddy and your buddy too, Milo, was out yesterday, and they were around a lot of boats. Didn't see very many people. They talked to quite a few people that said it was a really tough day. They only had, I think, 11 or 12 fish all day. Now, granted, I don't think any of these boats had live scope on them.
Yeah,
and
you don't. I mean, you don't need it. You don't need it. It helps.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, man. That active target. That's I've had it a week and a half.
Yeah,
and I mean it's pretty incredible. I've just now got on the live fishing bandwagon.
Right.
You can go spider rig and catch them. That's how I've been doing it. You know, I active targeted those fish Friday. Was the first day I really hit them hard, but I caught a lot of good crappie last week, and a lot of limits, and we were spider rigging.
And it just seems like boat control, from what I'm hearing, is a pretty important thing right now with the amount of wind we've been getting.
When the wind blows 25 every day.
Yeah, you got to get out of the wind. And I mean, on the Grand Arm, I know there's a lot of creeks to choose from, and they're going to move into the creeks. But within Bucksaw, I mean, you got several creeks right there. I mean, Pretty Bob's not very far. Cedar's pretty close. But there's a bunch, and if you get on Navionics, whether it's on our website or online, go find those creeks and find.
Yeah, that's where you're going to find the fish right now, and especially when they start moving up. But you kind of play your creeks to the wind. You know? If it's south wind, you find an east-west creek. West wind, you find a north-south creek. And that's kind of the way we, as guides, that's kind of the way we play our day.
Right, right. We're going to talk about it a little bit more this Sunday on the forecast for April, but I mean, what's your quick thoughts on what's going to happen?
It's going to be a banger.
Yeah.
The size of these fish from the 2019 flood, those fish are 3-year-old now, and there's a ton of 1-pounders. Tons of them. 12-inch, 12.5-inch fish.
Yeah.
Lots of them. Big black crappie. It's going to be a good spring.
Yeah. Awesome. Jeff, how do folks get a hold of you if they want to book a trip?
660-351-5420. Follow me on Facebook at Jeff Faulkenberry or Endless Season Guide Service, or on Instagram at Endless Season Guide Service, Jeff Faulkenberry Outdoors.
Yep. So for all of you guys members watching this, it's early in the week here on April 5th. So we're kind of just recap his trip today and this past week. We're going to have a lot more reports coming in the next few days. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being a member of the website. Please be sure to tell your friends and family what we're doing around Truman. And stay tuned for our next monthly guide dinner, which we are shooting this Sunday. Thanks much for watching, guys. We'll catch you on the next one.